Today's class is going to focus on opening through the front of the chest. You will need one block and one strap. If you don't have these items, you can use a towel instead of a strap, and you can use a stack of books or even maybe a pillow instead of a block. Grab those items, set them next to the middle of your mat, and we'll get started. Lying down, so you can take your block or your pillow or whatever you're using as an elevated surface and just put it on, so if it's a block, put it on the lowest setting. So it's just like a couple inches off the ground. And we're going to lie all the way back and down, and you want to have just at like the bottom of your rib cage. So if you're of the bra wearing population, so women, kind of that bra line area is kind of where the bottom of the block will line up, and then allow your head to rest onto the mat, and you want to make sure your chin isn't like jutting up towards the ceiling. You want to try and have it in as best you can, and your arms can reach out to the side, or you can bend into your elbows, just depending on space. The knees can be bent or extended, just whatever feels better for your body. Closing your eyes if that's comfortable, and trying to find your breath here. Now it will be not as comfortable to breathe here because our rib cage is kind of thrusting out and forward. So if it feels a little bit uncomfortable initially, that's okay. And if at any time you start to feel uneasy or really uncomfortable with this elevated surface, you can just move the block or the pillow out of the way and come down onto the mat with the arms out to the side. And if your legs are extended, we're going to bend the knees back in. And I want to go up just to kind of my tiptoes and then let the knees drop out to the side and maybe kind of move a little bit from side to side here. Getting a little bit of rotation through the spine. And then draw the knees together. And we're going to just very gently, briefly roll over onto one side, moving the block out of the way. So now the block is to the side of your mat. Put on this side so you can see it. And we're just going to lie onto the mat with your back flat and take a couple of deep breaths here. And notice how it feels slightly different. Like you can breathe into the back side of your body a little bit more. Hugging your right knee in towards your chest. Let's reach the left leg long. Feel your collarbones roll open and the shoulders pull down the back. On your exhale, we'll draw the knee up towards the nose. And then slowly, with control, lower down. So think of this as like a really gentle abdominal exercise, but we're also warming up into the spine. So exhale, draw your knee to your nose, round up, lift, pull the shoulders down the back, and slowly lower. And then one more time, exhale, feel your navel draw in and down to support your low back, and slowly lower. Okay, we're going to bend the left knee from here. Take your right leg up towards the ceiling and just point and flex through your foot. Oh, I have socks on. And then flex out through your foot, reach the leg long. We're going to reach the leg down towards the floor and then point the toes, lift the leg back up. So think about long through your abdominals, and you're also feeling your chin pulling down here. So you're thinking about stretching the whole backside of the body as you're moving the leg. One more time, lower, and then lift. We'll keep the foot flexed, cross the ankle over the knee, thread your hands through, around, and behind your left leg. And just take some deep breaths here. If it feels good to rock a little bit side to side, you can do that. Some people like to extend out through your left leg and maybe reach for the foot or the toes. If you know your hamstrings are a little bit on the tighter side, that probably won't feel good. And then let's set the left leg back down. Reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. We have two options here. You can keep your left knee bent or you can straighten it out. Hands come out nice and wide, and we're just going to make some really large circles here. So reach around, out to the side, and up. One more circle in this direction. And then we'll pause in the center, and then open out away from you, reach around, down, and then back up through the middle. And you can point or flex through your foot really wherever you feel a better stretch. You want to think of your hips staying grounded to the best of your ability and just moving the femur within the hip socket. Thinking of opening up through the sides of your hips. And then we'll come back up to the ceiling and set that foot all the way out and down, hugging your left knee in towards your chest. So starting all the way over at the beginning on the new side, shoulders roll down the back, think long through your neck. On your exhale, slowly start to curl up through the spine, think nose to knee. It's okay if the nose and knee don't touch. And then slowly lower back down. I think the biggest thing to focus on here is feel like you're lifting from around your belly button area, exhale lift, rather than up by the shoulders. Most of us are used to kind of like pushing and pulling our body weight around with our shoulders, and that's kind of contributes to neck tension. One more time, exhale, think navel to spine lift with the abdominals rather than the shoulders, and then slowly lower back down. We'll bend the right knee in, stabilize through the hips and the foot, and then reach your left leg up towards the ceiling, rolling the ankle around, wiggle the toes, loosen up however it feels good. Finding a strong flex through the foot, reach out through your heel, lower the leg down, reach away from you, and then point to lift back up. Imagining like your leg is growing longer each time it reaches down and away from you. And one more time, lower and lift. We'll flex through the foot, cross the ankle over the knee, thread your hands through, around, and behind your right leg, pull the shoulders down the back, and you should feel a nice stretch through the outside of your left hip. If you want to extend the right leg on this side, if you did so on the other side, go for it. You can reach for your toe or for your foot. And you want to think of your long spine here lengthening out through the crown of the head and through your tailbone. A lot of times, the more we pull in here, we kind of get crunchy through the upper body. One more deep breath. And we'll release the right leg down. Left leg reaches up towards the ceiling, going into our leg circles. So the right knee can be bent for more support, or the right leg can extend out to work on our mobility. And then start by crossing the body, reaching down, around, and then open, trying to keep the hips in the same place as best you can. So you're thinking still through the midline and just the leg is circling. And you're using a lot of the smaller stabilizing muscles through the hip and the glutes. One more time. And then up through center, and we'll go the other direction. So reach open out to the side of the body, away, circle down through the middle, and then up. And one more big circle. We'll come back up to center here. Let's bend both of the knees in. We'll hug the knees towards the nose and start to roll up to a seated position here. Okay. You can sit any way that works for you. Well, inhale, reach the hands around and up. Watch your palms touch and then draw down to the center of the chest. Rooting down through your sit bones, feeling the crown of your head lengthened. Setting an intention for your practice. So we're going to be trying to move a little bit more mindfully and slower, really focusing on the alignment of the spine. So maybe you can incorporate that to your intention, or maybe you have something just going on in your day that fits as a better intention for you. Take one more deep breath. Let it go. And then we're going to grab our strap or whatever we're using in place of a strap. It could be a towel, a shirt, anything. If you don't have either of those, you can just still move your arms as well. So you want to grab wider than shoulder width is going to give you more space to move. And then we'll reach up and over and then around behind us. And you really want to push into the strap and watch that you don't start bending your elbows. Bending the elbows is kind of like cheating a little bit. Good. And if you don't have a strap, you can still just reach your arms up and over. You don't get that same like push-pull sensation, but you still get a nice stretch through your shoulders. And this is probably like one of my favorite moves. I definitely need to do it more. And this is a good one. If you're sitting for a while, you could even just like if you're sitting, take a couple minutes, take a break every hour, and a couple minutes just reach your arms up and over and around. Okay, and so now let's, whatever you're holding on to, just kind of reach it out, and I want you to still pull tension into the straps the whole time. And again, if you don't have anything, you can just reach your hands to the ground. Then we're going to take our right ear towards our right shoulder, so you're thinking about grounding down through both shoulders, anchoring them. Breathe. And then turn your nose to look towards your shoulder and breathe here and really keep that opposite shoulder open. It wants to turn in. Inhale to draw your head back to center. And then let's take the other ear to the shoulder. And you really don't have to push or pull too much through the neck. All of the structures are smaller and a lot more delicate, so you don't want to go forcing things or like really pushing on the side of your head. And then turn your nose to look towards the shoulder and reach out. And then we'll inhale to come back to center. Just release the straps down. Let's shimmy out through the shoulders. And a lot of times, if you're having like a neck strain on one side, for example, the right side of my neck bothers me a lot, and it's actually because sometimes my head is slightly tilted this way, so all the muscles on this side are working a lot more. And so our natural instinct is, oh, this side hurts, let me stretch it more, but that's actually happening too much for me in this situation, and I need to work on strengthening this side and stretching that side. So just kind of notice how you hold your head as you go about your day. We'll inhale, reach our hands up nice and tall, interlace the fingers, and then press the palms out and away, stretching out through your shoulders. Exhale, draw your chin to your chest, round through your upper back. Push into the floor, and inhale, reach up nice and tall. Exhale, chin to chest, round through the back, push away. And then inhale, lift up nice and tall. Okay, this time we're going to stay nice and tall. Release your hands, and let's turn to the left. So you're looking over your left shoulder. Right hand comes down on the outside of your knee, your leg. Push into the floor. And really take some nice full breaths here. On an inhale, reach both hands back up nice and tall. Look up towards the ceiling, recentering the body. Exhale, turn the other direction. So you're looking over your right shoulder, grounding down into both of your hands. Breathing into the rib cage. On an inhale, reach around and up. So we're going to add on this time only if it feels good. So turn over to your left hand side again. So our right hand is going to stay grounded on the outside of our leg. You can reach your left hand up towards the ceiling. You can pause here, or you can start to tilt and reach diagonally. So I'm thinking of following the track of my knee here. Take one more deep breath, grounding down through both hips. And then lift up nice and tall, recenter yourself, both arms lift up. And we'll turn the other direction, looking over your right shoulder, press down. If you'd like to lift up through the right hand, you can stay right here, or you can start to lean and tilt, reaching away. And you should feel a nice stretch through the low back, the middle back. On your inhale, restack the spine, engage the abdominals to lift up nice and tall. Both arms reach up. Okay. And we'll reach our hands down, sweep our legs around. We're going to come into some cat and cow. So we'll be in an all fours position, wrists under our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. On an inhale, let your belly drop, look up. As you exhale, press the ground away, navel hugs in towards the spine. Moving at your own pace and really trying to get the whole spine involved from your tailbone out through the crown of your head. Okay. And then come back to the center here. Really make sure your head is supported too. A lot of times, especially as we get tired, our head hangs off of the rest of our body. So grab your block or your pillow or whatever you are using, and we're going to tuck it behind our right knee here. And you're going to kind of hold on to it. You're pushing into the ground, and we're going to, so we're hinging at the hip. We're keeping our knee. Our knee is kind of the same shape as we lift the leg behind us. And lower. And you want to go nice and slow here, so we're using the stabilizing muscles of the spine and also thinking about engaging your glutes and your hamstrings. And it's normal for this to feel really challenging. For most people, our hamstrings are really underutilized and we tend to be quad dominant. Next time you lift up, let's hold it here. Push into the floor, and then give some little reaches. Thinking of reaching your knee just an inch higher. Also watch that it's staying in the midline of the body. Your leg will want to turn out because then you can use the sides of your glutes. It feels easier. Nice. And then let's slowly lower that knee down. And we'll switch right to the other side. So taking your block behind the left, or your block or your pillow behind the left knee, and you could of course do this without the prop. We'll start to lift and lower. Using the block or the pillow just helps to make it so you can't cheat and move your knee, like open or closed. Good. Making sure that we're breathing. And for me, my left side is a lot weaker. I think that's from driving because we push on like the gas and the brake with our right foot, and then our left side isn't really doing as much. That's what I'm going to blame my left side weakness on. We're going to hold the left leg up about hip height, aiming to get the knee hip height, and then little pulses here. So think about activating your glute and your hamstring and using that to lift your leg. And 3, 2, 1. Lower the knee down. Remove your block or your pillow. Set it out to the side, and let's sit the hips back into child's pose. Your knees can come wide. You can move your fingers around a little bit to decompress through the wrists. Setting your forehead down onto the mat. Let's walk the hands over to the right side, whatever amount is comfortable, and stack the left hand on top of the right, really weighing the left shoulder heavy and down towards the floor. We'll walk the hands over to the left side. Left hand plants down, right hand stacks on top of left. And feel the left shoulder, or the right shoulder, sink heavy down towards the floor. Okay, we'll come back to center here. And then we'll inhale to lift up, press through the middle, coming into a modified plank. Bend through the elbows and slowly lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Okay, so we're going to start in a Sphinx position, so aligning your elbow so it's underneath your shoulder, so you're like, Egyptian pyramid. You're pressing your palms into the ground, rolling your shoulders down the back, reaching out through your toes, and then just turn your head and look over one shoulder, trying to keep your shoulders in the same place. Don't let the shoulder twist with you. Inhale to come back through center, and then exhale, turn, look the other direction. Good, and then we'll come back to center. And slowly lower down, reach your hands long behind you, palms facing up to the ceiling. On an inhale, lift up like you're trying to glue your arms and your legs onto the ceiling. And then exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. We'll take the palms underneath the shoulders. We'll press up into either a baby cobra with the bottom of the ribs on the ground or into an extended cobra, making sure the low back stays long. And again, we're going to turn our head, look over one shoulder, and then come back to center and turn your head, look over the other shoulder. So another thing that happens in our spines, we'll inhale to come back to center and exhale to lower down, is the upper half, basically from your rib cage up and then also through your neck, is the part that's supposed to twist. Press the ground away and lift back up through all fours and then into downward facing dog. But for a lot of us, we don't move through the middle of our back enough, and then it becomes stuck. And so instead, our body just kind of takes the path of least resistance and twists it like the lower back or somewhere else, and that's why that part can frequently be hurt. So you want to really open up through the neck, through the shoulders. Let's pedal out through the feet here. On an inhale, looking up between your thumbs, and start to walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Coming into our Uttanasana, our forward fold. Softening into your knees here. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. And then reach your hands around and up. Coming into a standing position. Palms come together. Draw down to the center of the chest. Reconnecting with your intention. Okay. On an inhale, we'll reach our hands around and up, look up, and then exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale to fold forward. Hands come down, step back one foot and then the other, coming into our plank position. You can stay here in a high plank or lower the knees down. We're going to move through our chaturanga. So exhale to lower with control. Inhale to scoop through cobra or up dog. And then exhale, push the ground away and come back into your downward facing dog, always knowing that you can take child's pose instead of down dog. While we're here, let's reach the right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend into your knee and start to make some circles with the knee. Hands circle in the other direction. And then reach the right leg up long towards the ceiling. Draw the knee in towards the nose. Step the foot between the hands. You can lower the back knee down or keep it lifted. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up into a lunge here, pressing through the feet. And then exhale, reach the hands down on either side of the foot. Step the left foot to meet the right at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold deeper. Try and pull yourself in closer to the legs. And then inhale, reach around and up. Palms touch overhead and draw down to the center of the chest. On your next inhale, sweep the hands around and up. Look up, open, little baby back bend here. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold in, think nose to knees. Plant the hands down, step back one foot and then the other into your high plank. And then lower the knees if you'd like. Exhale to lower down towards the mat. Inhale to scoop through cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Holding here for a couple of breaths or into your child's pose. Starting to reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. Bend into the knee and then start to make some circles with the knee here. Pressing evenly into both hands. Let's reverse this direction of the circles. And then reach your left leg nice and long, lengthen, lengthen. Draw the knee towards the nose. Step the foot between the hands. You can lower the knee or keep it lifted, and then inhale, reach your hands up. Coming into a nice high lunge. Exhale, reach the hands down on either side of the foot. Step both feet forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. And then inhale, reach the hands around and up. Palms touch. Hands draw down to the center of the chest. Okay. So stepping back, whichever leg makes sense for you, we're going to be turning and facing the long edge of your mat, so it doesn't really matter which direction you face. Heels are in, toes are out. Well, inhale, reach the hands up, and then exhale, pull the elbows down, knees bend out to the side. Inhale, reach up, lengthen. Exhale, pull the elbows down. And so imagine there's a wall behind you and you're trying to the best of your ability to keep your body in one straight line up and down. We want to do this because it just feels easier. So even if you don't go as low, try and stay upright. Next, we're going to hold it down low. So next time you're down here, reach the hands onto the knees and just kind of shift a little bit side to side. So we are a little bit tilted forward now, but my back is still flat. I'm not arching or rounding as I'm going forward. Nice. And then hold it here in the center. And we'll start to think about your hips staying in the same place, but just twisting through the upper back. And so your shoulder drops in, and then other side, shoulder drops in. And moving slowly and mindfully side to side at your own pace, maybe finding somewhere to hold a breath. Good. Finishing up one last side. And then we'll come back to center here and stand up nice and tall. Inhale, reach up. Palms come together and let's step back to the front of the mat. Okay, so we're going to take our block or our pillow again, and we're going to put it above your knees, trying to put it like into your inner thigh area. And this is going to help us with our chair pose. I'm going to be facing you. You can face whichever direction you want. We're going to sit down low into our chair. Feeling your inner thighs activate. We'll start to take a twist here. So you can twist to your right first, left elbow on the outside of your left knee. Good. And you want to watch that one knee isn't poking out more than the other. And the block will start to feel, or the block or the pillow will start to feel uneven if you do that. Good. Well, inhale to come back to center. Reach up nice and tall, maybe even coming up onto your tiptoes, imagining you're growing taller and longer. And then sit back and down, and let's twist to the other side. So we twisted to the right last time, now we're twisting to the left. Good, checking out through the knees, thinking about twisting through the upper back. Breathing. On an inhale, we'll come back to center. Lift up nice and tall, maybe come up onto the tippy toes. And so now we're going to find a release through the back. You want to still stay pressing inward. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. Then as you exhale, let your arms fall heavy. You can exhale out through your mouth. Let it go. We're going to do that about 3 more times. So inhale, nice and tall, lift up onto your tippy toes, deep breath in, and then exhale. Let it go. 2 more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float forward and down, let it go. Last one, inhale. And then exhale, let it go. While you're down here, you can take that block or that pillow out of the way. Walk your feet a little bit closer together. Inhale, reach your hands around and up as you stand up nice and tall, palms come together. We're going to take our chair twist again, and this time maybe trying to go a little bit further. So bend down low, twist to your right, left elbow on the outside of the knee. If you want to, you can open up through the arms, reaching, feeling like you're trying to make space between your shoulder blades. Pressing evenly into both feet. And then on your inhale, draw the hands back together, push into the center. Inhale, reach up, press the hips forward, engage the glutes. And then let's go to the other side. So twisting to your left now, the elbow comes on the outside of the thigh. Pushing the palms into each other, or maybe trying to open up if you feel a better reach and a better stretch there. Take 1 more deep breath. Let's press the palms back together. Draw back to the midline of the body. Reach up nice and tall. And then this time we're going to fold forward and down. So as you exhale, fold forward and down. Hands come on either side of the foot. Okay. Let's step the left leg back. And let's lower the knee down to start. So I'll have our left hand on the inside of our foot, and then reach your right hand up, finding a twist here as well. On your exhale, we'll plant the hand down, so we have one hand on either side of the foot. We're going to tuck the toes, lift the knee, hold it here. So we're in a high lunge. Inhale, reach your hands up nice and tall. So you have right leg forward, left leg back. And then as you exhale, pull your elbows down towards your ribcage, open up, look towards the ceiling. As you exhale, we're going to push forward, reach. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. Exhale, pull down, open up through the chest. And then exhale, reach forward, round through the back. One more time, imagining it's like you have that block underneath you like we did at the beginning. Exhale, pull. And then push. And then lift up nice and tall. Now we're going to windmill our arms. So your right hand is going to reach behind you. We're taking a twist. Sorry, windmill was like a confusing term to use. We're going to twist. You're looking towards your right hand behind you. Reaching out like you're wringing out a washcloth. Good, nice. Breathe. And then exhale, release your hands down, one on either side of the foot. Step it back to your plank position. And then moving through your vinyasa, your knees can come down lower with control. And then inhale, lift with control from the abdominals. And we'll meet back into our downward facing dog or into our child's pose, wherever you feel you can best catch your breath. On an inhale, reach the right leg up towards the ceiling. Draw the knee in towards the nose. Step the foot between the hands. We'll plant the back heel down. and windmill ourselves up coming into our warrior two. So thinking about our spine and our warrior two, we want to be stacked over our hips as best as possible, and we want to keep the shoulders open and just turn at the head. So you should feel a stretch through your neck. And then we'll bend through our right arm, bring it onto the thigh and reach the left arm up and over. And then inhale to reach up, trying to keep the bend through the knees as you reach the left hand down and the right arm up. And then up and over, moving side to side, thinking about the area on the side of your ribs and making more space there as you reach to the side. Flowing at your own pace. And then the next time you're in your side angle position, let's hold it here. We'll bring our forearm onto our thigh. Our left arm is up towards the ceiling. So you really want to focus on your rib cage rotation here, especially if you're wanting to get a bind one day. If you're wanting to work towards that now, you can bring your hand in your back pocket, really roll the shoulder back and reach your hand down like you should be able to touch the top of your butt cheek here. We'll take the right hand down to the mat. And then this is important. You want to kind of be closer to your knee, like the middle of your thigh. You don't want to reach through like your crotch area. You want to be going the middle of your thigh and reach your arm back. So like my elbow is pressing into my calf. Hands, they will either reach or they won't. There's a couple you can work on. You can work on sinking your hips lower. That makes more space for your hands to touch. Or maybe your body just needs a little bit more time to open up through the front of the chest. Deep breath wherever you are. On your exhale, we'll slowly unfold, pressing the ground away, straighten out through both legs. I like to walk my feet in a little bit closer here. Bring the left hand down, right arm up, finding a reverse triangle. Good. And then we'll inhale, lift up nice and tall, and reach over, coming into our triangle position, Trikonasana. Right hand is down, left hand is up. You're twisting, looking up towards your left hand. And you could also take the hand around in the back pocket and maybe reach to grab the opposite hip. Pushing into the ground, reach your arms up. We'll inhale to lift up nice and tall. Bending into your right knee. Windmill the hands down and around, coming back into that lunge position. Step back to your plank pose and then go through your vinyasa. You can lower the knees down. Exhale, lower. Inhale, open through the chest. Exhale, push the ground away. Lift back and up, downward facing dog. On an inhale, bringing your left leg up towards the ceiling. Reach it long, stretch through your hamstrings. Exhale, draw the knee towards the nose, step the foot between the hands. Pivot your back heel down, windmill your arms up, coming into your warrior two on this side. We'll bring our forearm down to our thigh, reach your right arm up and overhead. And then starting to move side to side mindfully, bringing one hand down over the leg, other arm up and over. Good. Feeling like all of your limbs are moving out from your core. And the next time you find yourself in that side angle position with the forearm onto the thigh, let's hold it there and work on opening through the chest even more. So you can really be opening through the chest here, especially if your shoulders are really tight. Next step is to bring the hand behind the back and think about reaching for like the top of your butt or your hip crease. Next step is to bring the hand down to the floor. So pretty much all of us, when your hand goes to the floor, your shoulder wants to collapse inward. So you could spend time here keeping it open. When you're going to reach, think about reaching through the middle of your thigh, and your elbow should be pressing into your calf. And then even once you have the bind, that's not like the end of it, you're still trying to rotate and open more, turn and look up to the ceiling more. Let's take one more deep breath. And then slowly unfold. Lift yourself back up to your warrior two, straighten out into your triangle pose. Right hand can go in the back pocket or down to the leg as you reach your left arm up and over. On an inhale, let's lift ourselves up and move into our triangle pose. Your hand can come down onto the leg. You can reach for the big toe. And this pose is really all about getting this side body here. You may feel it through your inner thighs or through the legs, but it's really about the rotation through the torso. On an inhale, let's lift ourselves all the way back up. Bend into your knees, or your front knee, not both of them, just the left one, and we'll windmill our hands down and around. Step it back into our plank pose and then move through your vinyasa, exhaling to lower down, inhale to scoop through, and then back to your downward facing dog. And let's all take a moment to lower down to a child's pose. So bring your knees down to the mat, set your forehead onto the ground, hands can go wherever is comfortable. And just surrender the weight of your body, the weight of your spine into the floor. From our child's pose, let's walk the hands back towards the knees. You're going to push the ground away so you're sitting onto your heels from here. If you're on a hard surface floor and you have a thin mat, you may want to just kind of like pull your mat and double it up. I'm on carpet, so my knees are okay here. We're going to lift up into a camel position. So you want your hips stacked over your knees, and there's a little bit of space between my knees. They're hip distance apart. Now bring the hands into the back pocket. Fingers are pointing down. Roll your shoulders back and up and really feel, so most of us kind of walk around a little bit like this, so really find this rotation here and then start to press the hips forward and look up, finding your low back as long as possible, opening up through your upper back and just going as back as far as you can comfortably hold. We are going to go into this pose one more time. And it may be a little bit uncomfortable. That's normal. If you feel any sharp shooting pains, that is not normal, and you should just come out of the pose and let your body reset itself. On an inhale, we'll push into the ground and lift ourselves back up. Take a moment to sit your hips onto your heels. And bring your hands out here in front of you, and we'll just roll the shoulders around and back a few times. And then start to roll the shoulders forward a few times. Good, and then feel like your shoulder blades are in place. We're going to go into a second round of camel pose. Lift yourself up. Feel the glutes engage, hips tucked under. And then push the hips forward as you reach back. If you want to, I always have to tuck my toes for this one. You can reach back for your heels and press the hips forward. And really find your breath here. This pose is really uncomfortable for me, and as soon as I get into it, I immediately want to get out of it. So that's kind of where the process of yoga happens, is when you want to leave the pose, when a situation's uncomfortable, how can you deepen and breathe through the discomfort. We'll press down to lift back up slowly. Set your hips down onto your heels. Just be really gentle with your back. We're going to take some stretches for the wrists while we're hanging out here on our knees. So just reach your arms out in front of you and just start to circle through your wrists. And circle in the other direction. Trying to keep your elbows locked so they're not taking out the slack. Good. And then something else I like to do is helpful to decompress your wrist is to just kind of like grab onto where your wrist is. And you could feel like by squeezing your own wrist, you kind of make a little bit more space. And then try that on the other side. Good. And then just shake it out, letting go of any of the tension here. Okay, you want your strap or your towel nearby. We're going to come to a seated position, so your sit bones are onto the floor. Reach the legs out in front of you. And then let's take our right knee, draw it in towards the chest. And you're setting your foot down, so ideally you want your heel to be as close into your sit bone as you can get it. Like, it'll probably be able to come maybe within 2 inches. If that doesn't work for you, it can be further away. Okay. Left hand is grounded, right hand reaches up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in, and then exhale, fold forward here. So step 1 is to grab maybe the leg somewhere, the bottom of the foot. You can use your strap or your t-shirt towel here to help pull yourself deeper. If you can very comfortably reach your leg and beyond, then let's move into step 2. You're going to reach your hand, turn your thumb down, and wrap it around your leg. So I'm wrapping around and I'm able to touch the side of my body here. So you can stay here, and you may need your strap or towel here. You may just want to grab it with that right hand. And then you're going to reach around and grab either your fingertips or the strap here, finding some opening through your collarbones. And then once you have your arms locked in whichever position you choose, think about drawing your nose closer to your knee. So we are purposefully rounding through the back. Find your breath. Wherever you are, slowly release. Lift yourself back up. Take the right leg, cross it over the left. This might be where you stop, or you can tuck the bottom leg underneath. Right hand is down by your hip. Left arm reaches up, and you can set it on the outside of your leg. Some days I like this. Some days I like to just hold on to it and pull. You're going to be turning and looking over your right shoulder. And if you wanted to work towards a bind here, you could take your right arm and reach it back around for your left hip. And then there's this little triangle of space. You can't really see it because my pants are really dark, but there's this little triangle underneath your knee, and you want to thread your left hand underneath and through there, and it is a little bit awkward and uncomfortable. And if the bind doesn't happen today, just, let it go. Something to try for tomorrow. Okay, and slowly release here, uncrossing yourself, uncrossing the legs, straighten them out in front of you, bend through your knees, shake it out a little bit. And then to the other side, left knee hugs in, trying to get it as close to your body as you can. That'll help if you go to bind later on. And then reach your left arm up and fold it forward, reaching for wherever you can on your leg. If you can comfortably grasp the foot with both hands and find a little bit of balance here. If you're wobbling, I might just stay here. Turn your thumb of your left hand down, wrap it around. Your fingers should be able to touch the side of your body. And you can either use the strap or not, and clasp the hands behind the back. Then wherever your hands are, rounding through the upper back, think nose to knee. On your exhale, slowly release wherever your hands were grasping. I'm going to sit up tall. Take your left leg, cross it over the right. Maybe tuck your bottom leg underneath. You're really trying to keep both hips grounded as best you can. We'll inhale, reach the left arm up and around. Right arm can either press on the outside of your leg or you can hug the leg in close, wherever you feel better. Twist. If you want to go for the bind, left hand reaches for the opposite hip. And then maybe your hands can thread through the space underneath your knee and they can touch, but maybe not. Very gently start to unwind, lengthening the legs out in front of you. Shake it out. Okay, so you want to take your block or your pillow and have it just midway on your mat, and you want to have your strap next to it. Then we're going to shimmy ourselves to the top edge of our mat. Your knees can be bent or straight. Make sure you have runway behind you. Reach your arms out nice and tall and slowly start to articulate down one vertebra at a time, feeling like this is a massage for your spine. And then you get all the way back and down. You might have to scoot yourself up a little bit. Okay, let's bend the knees, walk the heels in, press your hands down, and then lift your hips up, coming into a bridge position here. So try to avoid turning your head to the side like I'm doing right now. And we just want to grab that block or that pillow and place it underneath your sacrum. So right between your two hip bones, just below your low back. And you can find a level that works for you. So if you have a pillow or something like that, you can't really adjust the level. But the idea is we're slightly lifted here, and then let's lengthen out through just the left leg and draw your right knee in towards your chest. So that little bit of lift for your hips, you should feel a deeper stretch through your hip flexors on the left side. And make sure that your left toes aren't like turning out to the side, but they're staying straight up towards the ceiling. And we're breathing. We're going to switch sides very carefully, so set your right foot down first, then bend your left knee in, and then you can lengthen the right leg out and away, make sure you're pressing down, and draw the left knee over the hip. And if you know that your hip flexors are really tight, just here with the right knee bent might be enough for you. And this is a really good one if you do a lot of cycling or running. I normally don't cycle or run a lot, but I have been a lot more. And I've noticed like in the first couple of days, my hip flexors are really tight and then they adjust. So this could be a good stretch to do after those activities. Okay, and then very carefully set your left foot down, set your right foot down, press into both feet, keep looking up at the ceiling, lift your hips up, move that block or that pillow or whatever it was out of the way. Okay, we have just enough time to do a quick hamstring stretch on each side. So we're going to grab our strap or towel or what have you, place it on the arch of the foot, of your right foot, and right leg goes up to the ceiling. You can extend your left leg out if you want that added stretch. And then I like to bend my elbows and pull my shoulders down my back and pull here. Maybe you want a more relaxed approach and just want to have the legs or the arms straight and let gravity do the work. We'll take both ends of the strap into the left hand, reach your right hand out to the side, and find a stretch through the outside of the quadriceps here through your IT band. On an inhale, draw the leg back to center. We'll put the left leg inside the towel or strap and reach the right leg down, finding your hamstring stretch here. Now let's take both ends of the strap into the right hand and we'll cross the body. Left arm reaches out to the side. Inhale back to center. Good. And we'll release the leg down. So you have 2 legs down, 2 arms down. If you feel like there are any other movements you need to make, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, we're finding ourselves in our corpse pose here. Allowing your eyes to soften close. Allow the jaw to relax. Allow the tongue to drop away. Just relax inside the mouth. Allow the weight of your body to sink into the floor. And just giving yourself an opportunity, feeling like the energy is flowing freely through you, and that energy also being your thoughts in your mind, allowing them to come and go with ease and not latching onto anyone in particular. On your inhale, feeling the energy returning to the body. Maybe starting to wiggle the fingers or the toes, maybe moving the eyes around while the eyelids are still closed, just feeling kind of that motion. On an inhale, we'll reach our arms long overhead. And then rolling over onto one side of the body, letting your head drop onto the inside of your arm. Gently helping yourself up
to a comfortable seat. We'll draw the palms together at the center of the chest. Thank you guys so much for being here virtually and sharing your practice with me. The light within me honors the light in each one of you. Namaste.